Up, Alabama is one step closer to having the strictest abortion law in the United States. And today, the badge is being honored in our nation's capital. Plus, 2017 test scores are being thrown out at Betsy Lane Elementary in Floyd County. We'll have more on why just ahead.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:30 on Wednesday, May the 15th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, if you can tell by my voice, some of us are still suffering from allergies, and today's weather is probably going to exacerbate it just a little bit more. So get the tissues ready and anything else that helps you clear up. I could use a little bit of ZzzQuil, probably, just something to get all this out and some more sleep for what it's worth. Brandon, let's bring him in this morning and see what to expect on this hump day. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, Will, and hopefully we'll get you some relief here before too long. But yeah, allergy sufferers, I'm sorry to be the bad news bearer, but it's still going to be rough for the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the current conditions over Stonecrest this morning. Look at that beautiful scene there, right there on the golf course, that layer of fog there in Floyd County, and we're going to continue to see a little bit of fog throughout the morning, but no clouds. Everything behind that looking pretty good for now, but you see that weak disturbance trying to push in from the west this morning out near I-65. That could bring some scattered showers into play this afternoon. Temperatures climbing, 46 Prestonsburg, 47 Jackson, everybody else in the low to mid-40s. That's about where it was this time yesterday. Not a whole lot of change in the last 24 hours. Your planner, we're going to get up to 70 today, but those chances for scattered showers will also pick up. Most stay dry, though, as we head into the afternoon hours. The full forecast is on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brendan, thank you. Well, President Trump is downplaying the trade war with China, calling it a little squabble. Talks broke down a couple weeks ago, and both sides have increased tariffs with more on the horizon. The ongoing tug of war is hurting American consumers, especially farmers. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
President Trump is defending his tough stance in the escalating trade war with China.
We are the piggy bank that everybody likes to take advantage of or take from, and we can't let that happen anymore.
Both the U.S. and Beijing have raised tariffs, and now President Trump is preparing to potentially impose another round of tariffs on an additional $300 billion worth of Chinese goods. Analysts say this would make items Americans regularly buy as much as 25% more expensive, including groceries and smartphones. Even lawmakers who support an aggressive approach say the clock is ticking.
I'm concerned that the president doesn't understand that tariffs are a temporary tool to formulate a long-term trade strategy.
Hopefully they can get back to the table and negotiate a deal. Sooner the better.
President Trump plans to meet with his Chinese counterpart at the G20 summit in late June, but there's been no announcement yet of any official trade talks before then. The standoff is hurting the heartland. Illinois corn and soybean farmer Evan Holteen says they're already dealing with slumped profits and bad weather and can't take much more.
We've supported him from the get-go on trying to bring China to the table and make them more accountable for their practices, but every day that this ticks on, farmers are the ones that are taking it on the jaw.
President Trump has offered to bail out farmers with approximately $15 billion of tariff revenue, but many say they'd rather have a trade deal. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Now, many economists believe it will take about 90 days to see price increases at stores from the latest round of tariffs. The markets are already reacting to the ongoing trade war. Your nest egg is feeling the pinch, and it's not just investments taking a hit. Experts say your wallet could be next, especially if the tariffs extend to consumer products. China would likely hike up prices on smartphones, computers, televisions, fitness trackers, and much more. The impact for the average American family of four is expected to be close to $800.
There is no clear cut, oh, we're hurting them or they're hurting us. We're hurting ourselves at the same time.
Three-quarters of the
toys bought in the United States are made in China. 93% of Chinese footwear, including some Nike shoes, could also become more expensive. Well, Alabama is one step closer to having the strictest abortion law in the country. The state Senate passed a near total ban on abortion last night. The Republican-supported measure bans all abortion-related acts, except to preserve the health of the mother. A doctor performing one would face up to 99 years in prison. Republican Terry Collins sponsored the bill in the state House. She hopes it forces the United States Supreme Court to revisit abortion rights.
Was to address the issue that Roe versus Wade was decided on, which is that baby in the womb a person?
The bill now heads to Governor Kay Ivey, who has not said if she will sign it into law. After inspecting the damage done to 4 tankers anchored just outside the Persian Gulf, U.S. officials say it is highly likely Iran's hardline Revolutionary Guards are responsible for the attacks. None of the tankers were American, but the U.S. has an interest in keeping the Persian Gulf open to shipping. A new report shows the Trump administration has reviewed a plan to send more than 100,000 troops to the Middle East to counter Iran.
We have not planned for that. Hopefully, we're not going to have to plan for that. And if we did that, we'd send a hell of a lot more troops than that.
Iran's supreme leader has vowed to resist the American pressure campaign. Happening today, the badge is being honored in our nation's capital. May 15th was first recognized as National Peace Officers Day back in 1962. Our Washington Bureau's David Aid has a preview of today's National Peace Officers Memorial Service.
The names are engraved into the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial.
Each person has a story.
The next chapter of that story begins with a somber Wednesday in front of the U.S. Capitol, where tears are certain as names that are freshly carved into the memorial are spoken for thousands to hear.
Jason T.
President Donald Trump is expected to speak to the nearly 40,000 officers and family members.
I know today is filled with sadness and pain.
Hundreds of officers will be honored, including the 158 who died in the line of duty in 2018. In Washington, I'm David Aid.
3 police officers involved with President Trump's motorcade in Louisiana were injured in a crash Tuesday. It happened in Lake Charles just before 2 p.m. during the president's visit in Cameron Parish. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders announced 3 officers were taken to a local hospital and are in stable condition. In other news this morning, people across eastern Kentucky met at Hazard Community and Technical College yesterday to discuss a unique way of putting people to work. Hosted by SOAR in the Kentucky Highlands Promise Zone, officials talked about connecting God with the will to work. Speakers discussed how God created us to work, and together we can teach those who are seeking jobs there is a pathway and a desire to do what God built us to do if we believe.
Our faith-based community is the place to begin that. They are the ones that are highly motivated, that feel led to be in this particular field, and if we can give them additional tools to be able to help bridge that gap, to have a greater understanding, and to bring people back into community, which work does.
The keynote speaker was Todd Lamphere from Paula White Ministries. Paula White is the pastor to the president. Aetna Better Health of Kentucky is donating $150,000 to fund a Clay County treatment facility designed to help addicted mothers receive the treatment they need. The money will go to Volunteers of America Mid-States. They're going to take the donation and build a 16-bed facility in Clay County for moms and moms-to-be who want help towards recovery. During their stay, moms will receive a comprehensive treatment plan focusing on group therapy and parenting support. Organizers say there's a big need here in southeastern Kentucky.
I'm so excited that there's going to be the opportunity for other women just like me to get these services, and I just hope if there's any pregnant women out there that's struggling with addiction that they make the call, because it'll change their life forever.
That was Nicole Collins. She was hooked on opioids and went to a similar facility in Louisville to get sober. Once the facility is open, it will give mothers an option to stay closer to home while getting help. The state education commissioner says they cheated. 2017 test scores are being thrown out at Betsy Lane Elementary in Floyd County. Officials say there was evidence that staff deliberately altered student exams and provided inappropriate assistance to improve test scores. The state says 3 administrators and a teacher at the school will be reported to Kentucky's Education Professional Standards Board, which oversees educators' state licenses.
We are moving forward with ensuring everyone's following the protocols, policies, and procedures of state testing to the letter of the law. We've already put things in place. We've been working through a corrective action plan.
Adkins says monitoring will be mandatory during testing from here on out. Now to an update on the numbers from the E. coli outbreak in ground beef. So far, it has been reported in 10 states, including right here in Kentucky. The recalled product was sold in 24-pound vacuum-sealed packages. Since the last update in April, 19 more people have gotten sick, making the total number of infected people close to 200. Kentucky has the highest number of reported cases. However, thankfully, no one has died. Well, it's 6:40. Let's toss it over to Brandon, who's going to give you a breakdown of what to expect on your hump day. Brandon?
Well, the forecast starting off pretty nice this morning in a lot of locations, but again, some patchy dense fog, so be careful of that. Not too much going on along the Mountain Parkway, but you can see a little bit off in the distance there on the horizon at Slade over in Powell County. Temperatures a little cool this morning. 41 Somerset, Williamsburg, 44 here in Hazard, London as well, 47 top of the ridge there at Jackson. That's probably one of the warmer spots in the region, 45 Moorhead and Prestonsburg, 44 in Pikeville. Almanac today. Temperature forecast is 70, average is 74, record of 89 set back on this day in 2018. So if you're heading out the door soon, jackets needed early, be careful with the fog, and then chances for scattered showers with that weak disturbance will pick up a little bit later on. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. Don't go anywhere. We will have a pet from a local shelter looking for a good home in our studio in just a couple minutes.